Chris Weidman looks to be in the shape of his life. You texted me today that you've been shackled to this guy for 5 weeks. Be honest with me. I mean, you gotta get sick of each other by this point in time. A little bit at the tail.
Oh yeah, but put it this way: I really wish the fight was this Saturday. If that answers your question, but he's ready to go. Again, I think we went back to basics on this. He had a great camp, keeping him healthy, and he looks great, man. I'm just trying to condition the hell out of him and get him to do the things that I know he does good and to be consistent, and that's it. So I'm really excited for the fight. Again, he's got to go in and do it. He's got to be the guy that does it, but he's going to go in there super confident and super in shape. And we'll see how it plays out, but I'm really, really excited for this fight.
I don't want to make too much of a photo, but staying on the conditioning front, I mean, he looks to be really in the best shape I've ever seen him. I mean, as a coach, are you able to gauge cardiovascularly or otherwise what kind of shape he's in now relative to other fights? I mean, I know the health is the number one indicator for you, but I mean, in terms of his cardio shape, is he on a different level?
You know what? He was, we've look, I've been with the guy since the beginning, so you're always trying new things and pulling back. And again, like you have injuries, you have to work around them. You know what I mean? So it's really, really difficult when a guy's injured and he can't do certain things. But he's healthy. He was able to do all the things that we want him to do. And I think that's what you're seeing. I mean, you're seeing a guy that's really dedicated himself, to write his own, everybody loves a comeback. And that's what he's planning on doing, man. It's going to be the first fight in a couple that we just got to get him back on track. And again, I think you guys had said it. I never, ever took Mousasi light. He might have said a couple of things, but as a trainer, I got to tell you, I pushed him to the frickin' limit. I do definitely nowhere near anything underestimate this guy. I know how good he is. I know how many fights he's got. I know how relaxed he is in there. It's hard to take him out of his game, but he's gonna face a really hungry, strong, condition Chris Weidman. So I hope he brings his A game because it's going to be a great fight.
Ray, when you guys are breaking down an opponent like Mousasi, what are some of the concerns for you? What are some of the things that Mousasi does well?
I mean, without really saying too much. I mean, he's the guy. What's he got? 50 fights.
Yeah.
He's fought a lot of people. He's very relaxed in what he does, and I mean that's really the biggest thing. I mean, Do I see holes as a trainer? Yeah, 100%. So can Chris exploit those holes? We're going to find out a week from Saturday. So that's really the big thing. You don't really know until you get in there, but he's I think Chris's point was when he's faced some of the upper, the Machitas and the Jacares, he's not pulling, he's not doing what he could do to Uriah Hall or Thals Latis or some of the other guys that are, kind of middle of the road guys, but are really good. And I think that's what he was saying. I don't think that meant he was taking them light, though. I mean, I think it was just his observation at the time. And, I think he puts himself on that level. And I think, it's like, again, it's really going to be a good fight.
Yeah, Chris
but
is definitely
breaking them down, breaking them down 10 a year, there's some things that are, that I think are going to be easy to expose, but who the hell knows? I mean, we'll find out.
Is Chris happy in camp, or does he get ornery as he gets close to fight night?
Well, he gets definitely the week of the fight. I think he's a little ornery, and he's moody. I think he comes and goes, you know what I mean? Like, again, look, Kenny, put it this way. I don't know if it's hard to – John will appreciate this more. He's got 3 kids. You know what I mean? So he's got a family, so you got to juggle that. Yeah. You got to juggle the other stuff, and it gets tough, man. I mean, the guy's human. Sure. I mean, I have a fight. I remember even years ago when I'd be training Matt, and I'd have a fight with my wife. He's like, "Dude, can you just focus for like a day? That's all I'm asking. Like, just make And it's true. I mean, that stuff will take you. I don't care who you are. That stuff will kill you. So, there's always ups and downs, but his wife really is a sweetheart. She understands it. You know what I mean? And, I talk about it, with his wife. And honestly, when he's annoying her and he's in a shitty mood, that means he's having a great camp. That means he's doing the right things. But it's hard to balance. But, I mean, that's where he's coming from. And John I think, like, again, as a guy with a family, you could appreciate it. Imagine trying to concentrate on something, but you know what? You still got to change the kid's diaper. You still got to do this.
Right.
That doesn't change, you know. So
Yeah.
I think he does a great job with that. But, you know, so, yeah, I think there were times in the camp where he was ornery, but he's really, really focused now, man. It's really good to see. I haven't seen this in a while. I really haven't. And that's, you know, that's what I'm happy about. And, you know, if this works out good a week from Saturday, then I got the new formula, because he really went back to some really good stuff. And, like, again, I'm just, you know, he just left. I mean, he just crushed it again. And all he's focused on is that fight. And it's just, you know, I want to keep him there for the next week and just get in there and do it.
So we're 11 days out. What is the focus tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm going to pull him. I mean, I had a sparring day scheduled. I'm probably just going to go with, again, cardio and drilling and, you know, technique type of stuff, like drilling, and just for the next he's got 1 day of interviews. So tomorrow will be a really hard cardio day mixed in with the drilling. And then, you know, I'm just probably going to finish up with really, really hard pad work, and that's it, and just keep him in the shape that he's in right now, which, you know, I think he's waking up at like 201, which is phenomenal. Even he thinks it's a little low, but he can't keep the weight on with these workouts. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And he feels great. He feels strong. You know, again, people think he's slow. I got to tell you, I mean, I'm with the guy. He's definitely by no means slow, and if that's what the other guy thinks, he's in for a rude awakening.
So you guys fly to Buffalo, right? It's a longer drive than I think. I'm going to the city afterwards, and I was thinking, I'll just rent a car. It's like 8 hours or something.
It's like driving them. It's like driving to Montreal. You gotta fly, because it's like maybe 50 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So you'll fly out there Tuesday, and another big fight. I mean, I know you get up for these, man. It's pretty exciting to see, you know, what he can do and where he can take. He's actually a slight betting underdog right now. So pick him last week, at least on my site. I don't know, maybe that speaks to slight action on Mousasi, but right now you can get Chris Weidman at even money, ladies and gentlemen. So we shall see.
Take it.
Hey, all right, I'll get you out of here.
Look, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask if you have any lean on Daniel Cormier, Anthony Rumble Johnson, light heavyweight title. Of course, they'll follow Weidman, Mousasi. That's a pick 'em right now, according to Vegas. Give me a lean.
Pick 'em. Yeah, I gotta tell you, man. I mean, here's my concerns, and I honestly, I really like DC. He's a good guy. I'm leaning towards Rumble. I just think, and I don't know anything about the training, but, you know, we had the TV gigs, and I mean, I just think when you get into all those other stuff, you got to refocus on the fighting. And I mean, Kane was injured with a back thing. I think that was I don't know how active he was in the camp, but I would think he really would have needed Kane to really push him for this camp. And I think right now, I got to tell you, in my head, I think Rumble's the hungrier guy, and I think he knows what corrections to make. And I don't know. I'm leaning towards Rumble on that. And I like DC, but I think, you know, one guy's focused, you know, on just what he has to do. And I think the other guy hopefully got it, you know, he wasn't distracted by his outside gigs and all of that stuff. But that's a tough fight, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it'll be a big night for the fathers over the weekend. UFC 210, April 8th, Buffalo, New York. For me, though, Ray, see, if I miss a workout, right, it's okay. Like, if my kid's like, hey, dude, you know, don't do jiu-jitsu this week, or whatever, it's okay, right? I was in Missouri with Tyron Woodley yesterday, and he's got 4 kids. Dude, it's just a circus. I mean, I think my life is chaos. Then I inject myself in the life of a professional fighter who's not even training for a fight. I can't even imagine these guys.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Look, even for me, I mean, you know, you got to kind of, which is horrible, but you got to kind of, you really need to balance that out. But I'm telling you, we're all lucky. We all have great families, and I think over the years I just broke my poor wife down. I mean, I just, you know, because you know, I put a lot of emphasis on this, and I think it's paid off, and hopefully for my family also. So, you know, I think they realize that. But it's a tough. It's you know, if you're a woman and you marry a guy in this business, you're almost a martial arts widow. You know, in a certain sense, because the dedication and the time that's involved, and we're just talking about one fight, but when I mean, even think of like, look at this schedule. So I come back from Buffalo, then you got Aljo, then you got Iaquinta, then you have, and the 28th I have amateurs fighting. Yeah, it just doesn't stop, you know.
Never
So
ends, right.
it's a tough go, man. It really is. But you know, everybody's passionate. Everybody loves what they're doing, and you know, if you're with understanding partners, everything's a home run.
Are you on call for these higher profile guys? Like if Ally Quinta calls you hammered at 1 a.m., says I want to hit pads. I mean, are you getting in the car?
Without a doubt.
Of course you are.
Without a doubt.
All right,